Hey Brick fans, and welcome back to the Brick Bakery, where all our jokes are half baked. I'm Jacob, and today it's time for a Christmas mock. Just before we get on to that mock, I'd like to remind you to go to www.brickbakery.fun to get the full Brick Bakery experience. Now that's www.brickbakery.fun to get the full Brick Bakery experience. But without further ado, let's get on with that Christmas mock. This is my rendition of Santa's workshop. A cornerstone in Santa lore is his workshop, where he creates all his toys that he gives to children on Christmas Eve. And I thought it would be fun to make an interpretation of his workshop. I made it all like a slice of a bigger building, which is a style I've come to like. Some people call these vignettes. A smaller version of this would be called an habitat, but this is just a slice of Santa's workshop. And let me just take you on a big tour before I talk a bit about some of the techniques I've been using in this mock. In the foreground, we got Santa trying to teach one of his elves how to build a wooden race car. And it does look like the elf is getting very enthusiastic with his wrench. And on the work table there's of course a bunch of wooden planks and this industrial drill. I've never made power tools in Lego before, so this was actually kind of fun to try, and I think it turned out pretty well. Behind that we've got the gift wrapping machine, where you can put in boxes and presents in one end and they'll come out gift wrapped in the other. And there's an elf working hard to get all the presents wrapped for Christmas. Behind him there's an archive of wish lists from children around the world. And of course there's a couple tagged to the wall for easy reference. At the other corner of this little slice of Santa's workshop there's a lathe. And according to Adam Savage of Mythbusters fame, this is actually the only tool that can reproduce itself. In this situation though, it looks like there's an elf doing some woodwork. And at the central spot of the workshop, there's of course a table with cookies and tea for all the elves and Santa to enjoy while working. One of my main objectives with this mock was both to capture some Christmas spirit, but also work on detailing, wrapping up the details, really cramming as much stuff in there as possible, and I think I succeeded to some extent. There's boxes and wooden planks strewn all over the workshop, and I think that really lends sort of an authentic, used feeling to the whole thing. And adding a lot of clutter to the whole workshop, and particularly on the floor, really adds to the sense of something that's being used, of something where people or elves are actually doing something on an everyday basis. You may have noticed that there's only a few studs showing, and that was actually one of my points in making this mock. There's some on these curtains and actually a few on the floor, but other than that there is no studs showing in most of this mock. And I think that really gives it a wonderfully finished look. I also made a point of trying to make some of the bricks and plates look like wood without using printed pieces. And I achieved this by using different earth tone colors: tan, brown, dark tan and caramel. I think Santa's workshop would traditionally have been depicted as something that's made in wood, but I chose to use masonry bricks for this one just because I like these masonry bricks. But to avoid just having one big surface of masonry bricks, I made a pattern of white bricks and plates to just give it a little more dynamic look. Technique-wise, there isn't too much to say about this. It's very, very straightforward. There's very little studs knot on top or anything like that being used in this mock. I think the most exotic technique that's been used here is exactly snot technique on these curtains right here. But other than that, everything is pretty straightforward. What I discovered when working on this MOC is how much life details bring to your vignette, your little MOC, whatever it is. Details seems to be sort of the champion of making something come alive, and I think this one really succeeded in that regard. But what do you think? Do you like what I did? Do you think this one is dynamic? Does it seem alive to you, or is it just another static build? Whatever you think, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to hear all your suggestions, because I would really like to make this even better. But that's all for me today. I hope you'll comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you guys next Monday.